Can someone please help me make sense of this? I've been receiving food stamps for the last 7 years, consistently. I just received a letter in the mail telling me that I now have to do community service hours at least 15 hours a week. I have to take out of my time things that I do every day to do community service so that I can still continue to receive the benefits that I receive. Mind you, I am receiving the maximum benefit. I get $2,000 in food stamps a month. But that is only because I have 3 kids. Now, how do they expect me to be able to do community service hours if I can't even get a regular job? So I'm at risk of losing my food stamp benefits because I'm not putting in effort. Are you serious?
Well, the USDA warned state agencies yesterday that food stamps will likely be not appearing in November. Horrific. Think what you want about people on SNAP benefits, but little to many people's knowledge, a lot of the people who receive SNAP benefits are working individuals.
Listen, if they really cut off food stamps for November, y'all better go into the HR office and turn your taxes off. We should not be paying taxes if they're not going to help the American people. If my grandma don't get her Social Security, what the fuck make you think I'm gonna pay taxes for? Huh? If my community members who need food stamps can't get it, I'm not paying no taxes, bitch. I'm not paying a motherfucking thing. Because what you doing with my money? What you doing with my money? Because you don't know how to use it right. So I'm going to take it back. Since you don't know how to use it right, I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back.
Hi guys, welcome back again to the YouTube channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking. When you saw this video, so I came across this on my FYP. A lot of people now coming out to talk about their SNAP benefits being taken away. And of course, some people are not talking about how, by November 1st, there might not be any SNAP benefit payment, right? And lots of people are freaking out so much on the internet, and people sharing how actually the people that receive this are not just people that do not work, but people who are also working class, whose salaries are not enough to actually take care of their immediate needs like food and all of that. So the government kind of have a subsidy for them, right? So, and now if this happens, if the government shutdown continues on November 1st, people might not be paid, right? People might not get their payment for, SNAP benefit, and it's actually freaking a lot of people out. Well, guys, I have other clips for you guys. Let me just let them roll, then I'll come back with the commentary. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch, then I'll come back with the commentary.
The USDA warned state agencies yesterday that food stamps will likely be not appearing in November. Horrific. Think what you want about people on SNAP benefits, but little to many people's knowledge, a lot of the people who receive SNAP benefits are working individuals. And even if they're not, children depend on these to eat. And if you have any ounce of human empathy or sympathy, children are not the fucking problem, and they should not fucking suffer hunger because the government can't get their shit together and agree on anything. That would mean no Thanksgiving dinner for a lot of these families. Fuck Thanksgiving dinner. That means no lunches for these children, no breakfast for these children, no dinners regularly for these children. And if they can't come together and pass this budget in a nonpartisan way, this will continue. And we will have starving children even more so than we already do in America. And let's not forget, some states don't offer free school lunches, so these children depend on these food stamps to eat. And if you take children out of the picture, people without children depend on these to eat, to survive. A basic human need. And our government just can't get their shit together. The smallest things that we can do as a community to help right now, donate what you can to your local food banks, because people are going to be depending on these food banks more than ever. Bags of rice, non-perishables, things that can last and help people get through this tough time. as always, fuck Donald Trump and fuck his little regime Republicans that just can't put their foot down and tell him to fuck off. Because if you really think that the Democrats are the problem in this situation, you need to wake the fuck up and realize what the fuck is actually going on.
So over time, I've seen a lot of MAGA making videos and now blaming the Democrats for the whole government shutdown and saying that they are the reason why, the government is shut down and so many people might not be paid. You all remember the Christy Norm's video where she was also making a video. I was talking about how it's Democrats' fault that the government is shut down and all that. And the thing is that people just forget to understand the reason why this government is shut down in the first place and why Democrats is standing on their feet and saying that, you know what, we are not actually going to sign this or not, right? People just forget it that they are also trying to make sure that people get health care. Instead of MAGA trying to figure out why, they keep, blaming the Democrats and saying that they are the reason why the government is shut down and all that. When people say this thing is all about research, most of them do not sit down and make researches or ask questions or try to find out exactly what's going on. They don't even know anything in the area of politics or the things that is happening in their life, right? What they just know is that they have voted and they don't care whoever they have voted affects or if he affects them. That the only time you get to hear about them is when, it start affecting them, strongly. And that's the only time you get to hear their voices. And now that, SNAP benefits cut and all of that is happening, a lot of people might not be able to feed themselves, feed their families, in this period because, most families depend solely on this SNAP benefit. A lot of them do depend on it. So many families depend on SNAP benefits to survive. Some people cannot be able to feed their children, can't be able to feed themselves. Imagine going to work at the end of the day, the money you're making is for your rent. So what happens to food? These are the reason why it's as if the government brought out these packages to help people, to keep living their lives. But yeah, you still have people who believe the fact that, people don't deserve to eat. People don't deserve to be happy. People don't deserve it. Instead they tell them that they are all lazy. It's actually very funny.
You know what will forever baffle me? It's so baffling to me how there's people in the world who have so much money they could never spend it in their whole lifetime. They could go out and spend like $1 million a day and never notice. And then there's people like me and my family who lost their job and missed out on a few paychecks. And now we're behind over a month in rent. And we're facing an eviction. And we have nowhere to go. And I just don't understand. And it's embarrassing to talk about because I'm 23 and now I have an eviction notice. It's not something you think would happen to you.
42 million people could be going without food by November if there's no resolution because their SNAP/food stamp benefits will be cut off. Did you know that approximately 40% of the SNAP recipients are children? Children. And majority of the rest are people who are vulnerable. So elderly people, people with disabilities, people who are not physically able to provide for themselves. There are people in our country right now who tell their kids every night that they're not hungry because the SNAP benefits that they get are only enough to provide food for their children. So when their children look at them and say, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, Auntie, Uncle, why aren't you eating? They're saying, I'm not hungry because they don't have enough money to buy food for them and their children. I want you to understand that the SNAP benefits that people are already receiving are not enough to feed people and their families. And that doesn't even account for people who live in food deserts, where their local supermarket and the only place that they can get fresh produce is miles and miles away, but people are not receiving pay. So they may not be able to pay their car note. They may not be able to put gas in their vehicle. They may already be having to decide between groceries or paying their mortgage or their rent. They might be on their way to eviction, and the cost of living is already absolutely unlivable. And now people stand to lose the only access they have to food. Scary times.
When they tell you that the rich will keep getting richer, okay, no matter what, why the poor keep getting poorer, this is actually an example of what is actually, what it actually entails, because the poor will keep voting for people who do not care about them and keep defending people who actually do not care about them. Why the rich keep getting richer and keep making policies that will affect the poor people at the end of the day. And this is exactly what is playing out right now. So imagine a mom, okay, a parent who is working, like a mom, a dad who is working, but their salaries are not even enough to take care of their basic needs as a family. They cannot feed themselves, they cannot buy new clothes. There are people who actually have stayed for a whole year, they've not even changed their wardrobe or even decide to buy a particular thing, not because they are not working, but because how the country is right now, they cannot even afford it. They cannot afford to buy anything for themselves or to change their wardrobe or to just basically buy any good thing for themselves right now because of how the economy has become and how expensive things have become. And now with this whole SNAP benefits, how are they able to do that? Children are going to go hungry, families are going to sleep with empty stomach, while the rich in their mighty houses will be able to afford whatever thing that they want to afford. They don't care about millions of people who their policies are going to be affected, is going to be affecting. They don't care about that. Now, this is exactly what MAGA voted for. They voted for people to lose, benefits, and this is one of those. And to think that even them are going to face the consequences of their votes is quite unfortunate. One thing that MAGA will always do is to vote against their own interests, not minding if it also affect other people. Like they vote against their own interests and the interests of everyone around them. Now, parents might not be able to do anything for themselves. Kids will not be able to afford get good food anymore because of this SNAP benefit if it's not paid in November. And the government coming together to discuss and try to find a solution, lasting solution, and stop this whole government shutdown is also a problem. Till now, no solution at all, nothing, right? I just hope that this doesn't happen at the end of the day. I just hope that they are able to fix whatever problem that they're having and try to come together and fix things. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I look forward to reading from you. Credit to all creators on this video. See you all on my next. Do well to like and subscribe. Bye guys.